Hello everybody, Average Gamer here, and today I wanted to do part 2 of my wish/mod list of Superpower 3. So if you don't remember, roughly about this time last week, I did a military tab. Kind of modifications that I like to see, and things I want to see, I would like to see added. Today, we're going to be talking about the tab that I name wrong every time, the demography tab. So first thing, I would like it to be renamed the domestic tab, because I want this tab specifically to deal with everything associated with, I was going to say domestication, but everything associated with your country specifically. So for example, I would like the tabs to be changed up from population, culture, and support. I wanted to make sure that was changed. I may have did a little modding in the background to see what I could change on here. But I would like to change it to laws, industry, culture, support, which we have, population, and space. So I want this thing to be specifically anything you're doing domestically within your own country. Specifically, what I'd like to see is be able to promote or slander specific internal culture groups. So, for example, also see Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Yes, they're against drunk driving. Boo. No, but against like different. Yeah, there we go. Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Be able to promote that and have it impact, for example, the people in support of certain laws associated with maybe changing the blood alcohol level from say 0.80 like it is here in Ontario to maybe like 0.75, 0.6, 0.4. Make driving with any alcohol level, or any influence level 0. Be able to also say, hey, this group over here, I want to marginalize them because I don't like them with what I want to get done in the country. So basically being able to support or promote or even slander or marginalize specific groups in the game that will impact how your overall demographics will work. So right now, right in our culture, it breaks down, over here, Flemish and the Walloons. What I would like to be able to do is be like Flemish. They're way too far in support still of the old Dutch ways. They're way too into their tulips. They want us to put way more money into agriculture so we can get more tulips. We'd rather go along the Wallonian way and be more industrial, maybe even be more francophone, so be able to, promote francophone style groups. So it would impact your support for different things, and get laws passed because, other, political groups, for example. The ability to make religions legal or illegal. So right now, we know, for example, Belgium here is 46.7% Roman Catholic. Okay. What I would like to be able to do is to promote religions, demote religions, become atheists. Be like, hey, no, you know what? Our government has nothing to do with religion whatsoever. If you want to be religious, good for you. But, religion is neither illegal nor illegal. It's just, what you do, and it has nothing to do with the government. Be able to, let's see here, be able to specifically fund different types of things within your country. So, for example, have a Department of Culture, where, in your actual budget, you have a slider where you can put money towards culture, and you can actually invest in certain things associated with your culture. Different ethnic groups be able to be like, hey, we're going to put it into ethnic celebrations. So, food celebrations across the country break out, for the month, once every couple months. Different holidays associated with different religions get boosted, and that affects the draw or your immigration into your country, right? You're open, showing you're open, you're happy, you're good to go with with things like that, and you're able to, fund stuff. I like to see an overall breakdown of the ethnic and religious. So right now we have the ethnic stuff, but we really don't have a breakdown of the religious stuff. I would like to see that. I would like to see, probably under the culture section, the ability to have special interest groups. So, for example, I have here youth groups, adult groups, so for example, for sports groups. So have different little organizations that you can interact with that will change your overall, support with your culture, or their cultural support. How you interact with different cultures will maybe bring in more people of that culture. Something like that. Like I said, youth groups, sport groups, special interest groups, adult groups. So, for example, we'll say as a special interest group, professional driver, or just drivers in general. So, you can probably put unions in this. So, say, the trucker union. You kind of fall out with them a little bit because you've decided domestically you want to push smart cars to reduce, emissions. So you're going to be like, hey, we're, as a culture, as a nation, we're going to move towards autonomous electric vehicles. And, the car lobbyists are like, whoa, wait, so what's going to happen with my non-autonomous vehicle? And, they may get mad, etc., and there you go, youth groups. You won't go the Germanic way of this. The German part of me is like, don't talk about that part. But I'm talking about the youth groups like Scouts, Girl Guides, things like that, where you can kind of show that you're putting money into kids groups where they get better educated, or if, depending on what the group is, it will impact your overall industry in certain areas. Like if you're teaching a lot of kids about going out and working in the woods or working with their hands. I'm trying to remember what the name of the program is that they have in the States, where you go and you work in farms and all that stuff. Boom, that impacts your domestic industries associated with agriculture and things like that. I want to have a proper propaganda tab. So right now on this thing here, we can, control these. But I want to have the actual propaganda tab from here. I want to have it here. So I can be like, hey, I now control these, and I want to put money towards it. I want to see how much money is actually going into these things. So we currently have the ability to zoom in here. Zoomy, and left click and see our region. I'm very happy about this because apparently I control Luxembourg. But Luxembourg's right here. Interesting. So this region is also called Luxembourg. Did not know that. What I'd like to see what I would love to be able to do in this section under the industry tab would be the ability to select a specific region if it's not already selected, because we already have the ability to collapse and increase this, to select, for example, the Luxembourg region, bring this back down, and be able to, in that screen, interact with the industry specifically in that region. Actually putting more money into my primary, tertiary, or secondary industry that I specifically want to interact with. Because as we already know, if we go through the filters, certain regions do certain things more. And why not be able to interact with those regions and specifically invest in them to make them bigger, better. Oh, let's see what else here. Be able to see in the support section, I would like to see the ability to have a breakdown of all the different political parties, what their actual support is. So right now, we just know, where did my thing go? Here it is. We only know on the politics screen, which I would love to see the politics page just completely go and become part of this, domestic tab, is our actual approval for everybody. Like, what is the current approval rating for all these parties? I would like to know that. Because if I only have 51%, and then two other parties each have, say I'm at 40%, but then, you look at a couple of parties, like 2 or 3, What if they formed a coalition? You should be able to form coalition governments. You should be able to approach other governments or other parties and be like, hey, if we both join up, here you go, and have the other party actually reach out to you and say, cool, what we would like to do then is do a thing where you do the following things, bop, 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 and we'll actually throw our support behind you type thing. I would like the ability to set actual construction for industry in, once again, the domestic the screen. So get rid of the economy sector here altogether. And basically have it so that I can actually go into the meat section and actually say, hey, I'm willing to give the meat lobby this much money to go, or enough money to build 30 more ranches. And I want to be able to say, build 30 ranches. They tell me how much money it is, and I subsidize that. I subsidize it by giving them the money to actually build 30 more. And it will tell me, hey, do you want to build it in a specific province? Do you want to build it across the country? It doesn't even have to do that. You can just say, hey, just build it. Build me 30 ranches. How much money will it cost? Here's your check. Boom. But I want to get it, once again, in the domestic tab. So, for mines, be able to say, I want to build this many mines. For overall agriculture, I'll give you this much money, or I'll knock this much money off your taxes, or I'll even subsidize you this much money per month to clear out this much land, build these mines, build these facilities, build these warehouses, etc., etc., etc. I want to be able to set my internet funding. So right now, I think it's under support. Yeah. So right now, you just change it, no big deal. And over here is, where's it? Telecommunications. Why is this tab not with this? I think it should be. I also think that we should have telecom companies. Overall, I think companies should be in the industry tab, not so much industries. Industries should be generic, but then within each industry, we should have just a randomly named multiple businesses that we can get offers from in regards to investing in that industry. So, for example, I put in telecoms. So for telecoms here in Ontario, we have Rogers and Bell. What I would like to see under the internet section where I'm putting money in, have Rogers and Bell come up to me with projects to fund. With these projects that I fund, they will have an impact associated with whatever the contract is on my internet. Its overall efficiency, how good it is, how big it is, how many people it serves, overall speeds of internet, its level of control. For example, here in Canada or Ontario, we had a big outage a couple weeks ago where even our 911 services for internet went down. It was quite the yeah. Anyways, what happened then was basically everyone realized, holy crap, everything's all dependent on this internet infrastructure. What the hell? So what I would like to see is multiple different types of levels of the infrastructure associated with the internet, with our telephone services, with our electrical network. With our, what else do we have here that I can think of? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, those things are, so have like our telecommunications, our electronic networks. Maybe we can do civilian and military stuff. Airports, infrastructure, but have it all kind of in one section where we can actually have different companies where they're like, hey, random event or random. I have it here as manufacturer companies send offers that have both positive and negative effects. So, for example, say a company approaches saying, "Hey, we would like to increase the size of our mine in Manitoba." Cool. So then you get the option. Option number one: increase the mine of Manitoba by X amount of units. The lower thing that it'll show is pollution or impact to environment cost. So you have to spend more money theoretically on the environment in the area to make sure that everything doesn't go bad, and you can say yes or no. Like, so it gives you a positive, but also a negative. Sometimes it may just be mostly positive or just a option that's positive. But the plan is to have a both positive and negative thing that pops up and says, hey, we would like you to invest, we would like to do this. Is that okay? Boom, here's the positive and negative type thing. Yes or no. I like the ability to affect land here by doing offerings. So what that means is I would love to be able to be like, hey, I would like to offer up, because here in Canada we have crown land, where basically the government just has land. And every now and then they'll either lease out or rent out some of the land to farmers, loggers, mineral companies, etc. Or sometimes they'll just sell it outright. I would love to be able to do that, where I can just be like, hey, I want to sell this much acreage in Ontario. Here's the region it's going to be in. So, for example, I don't think you can get too small in Ontario. Yeah, Ontario is just like this. So I can be like, hey, so in Ontario, where the Quebec was apparently, well, that's just everybody all together. Interesting. It'll work a little bit better with a smaller country, but be like, hey, so this company is coming up to us in and offering, say, in the region of Luxembourg, we would like to increase a mine, etc., 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 or we want to sell out or sell X amount of arable land, etc., etc., how many forestries and all that stuff, and kind of do that. I would love to have in our domestic option holidays. Actually have holidays in our culture sections. Have the ability to say, hey, this day every year is a holiday from now on, because as Belgium we defeated Luxembourg and we amalgamated the country of Luxembourg and the region of Luxembourg together. We're calling it the holiday of luxury. It's where we sell luxury goods. I don't know. But yeah, you can celebrate special days. I also want more industry. So like aircraft, cars. Don't just have meat. Break it down to like chicken, pork, fish, and beef. Why not? I want to have, instead of just where is it? Just technology. Why don't we have semiconductors, microchips? Why not? Why can we not do something like that? Instead of having fuel, what about actually just say gas, diesel, and airplane fuel? Done. Gas, natural gas, and propane. Chemicals, I couldn't even begin to break down what all the different things this could be. Minerals, once again, break this down into a whole bunch of different minerals. Wood, I'd say just softwood, hardwood. That would make it a lot easier. Alcohol, wine, liquor, and spirits. Boom. Tobacco, cigarettes, and cigars. Done. Plants. See, this one I think is, I don't really know what plants, because cereals make sense, right? You can do wheat, barley, rye, corn, but then I don't know what plants would be. Obviously the Dutch do, because they would just change it to tulips, but yeah, there you go. For generic production, this could be changed to aircraft production, vehicle production, small engine, big engine production, aircraft, I think I already said aircraft, ship production, civilian ships. But for example, if you're building a lot of ships, you can turn around and sell those ships to your fisheries, or your fisheries can be like, hey, we need more boats. Cool. Here is, I won't get into it, but I came up with an idea for grants in the budget, which I will get to in the next one. But have the ability to be like, yeah, here, no problem. Here's money, but you have to pay me back. So have bonds. Not even bonds, loans, where you can loan money to these different private industries and be like, hey, you can go buy the boats that we're building in this other industry for your industry, and there you go. I also would like to have the ability to have different region leaders within this tab. So be able to select specifically Ontario and have a leader in Ontario, and having to interact with them, which will have both positive and negative effects of those provinces associated with the country as a whole. What else? Oh yeah, so I just want to mention, so have it. So basically, say for example, the leader of Luxembourg here and us, we interact and we have a really bad argument. That would affect overall, say, mineral production or manufacturing goods production would go down 5% in the province or in the region, because he would go back and just basically, complain and whatever, but have like certain little random events with these leaders, and those have positive and negative impacts depending on how you react and talk to them, and have a little more role play with your character. The ability to change duties on specific minerals and industries, would love to have that as an option in your industry tab. I want to have civilian research that has bonuses, so you unlock them and actually have to research them, that will impact domestically your stuff. So I want to have an actual research under maybe under the space or industry section. Obviously I want to have a space program. I mean, come on, that's definitely domestic. Be able to have a tab, in the probably the support section, maybe have up all the options for the police powers, like what they can and cannot do. Change the ability what they can do. Illegal search and seizure. Is stopping someone on the street legal or not legal in your country? Well, we can change that under the culture section. I would love the ability to be able to buy and sell our own goods in the actual government fields. So, for example, actually have government industry and government fields specifically under the industry tab, where you actually can buy and sell goods to your country. Be able to buy and sell stuff around your own country, like be able to see where the goods are going internally in the industry tab. Like it will tell you, hey, this much is being consumed internally to your country. So say for example, it's like, hey, we're producing 500 tons a day of iron. Of that 500 tons, 300 tons is going specifically, or 300 tons of that iron is going to steel production over here and doing this, blah, 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 blah. This much is being shipped overseas. This much is being used by this other, internal industry to the country, and then show where all the stuff goes. I would love to have that be the ability to kind of spider web through your own industries to be able to see like what you can and cannot influence and change and do all that stuff. So that's pretty much my idea for the domestic tab, is basically to bring all the stuff that you're going to be doing internally to your country to this tab. Now, I still want to have a budget tab. I want to mention that ahead of time, and a diplomacy tab. So we'll still have a domestic budget. So I mean, the main thing here is changing. I want to change the politics to diplomacy, but we'll get into that. And then obviously economy into finances. So that's my idea with the demography, aka, in my opinion, domestic. So in the next video, we're going to go over budgeting, or what I'm going to call the finance tab, and then we'll go into the diplomacy tab, in my opinion. What should be changed there? And then if I have the options and the time, we'll be doing a 5th video where we'll be going over what I'm calling general things that I'd like to see added in, like a ledger. But with that in mind, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Could have been watching any video with anybody else, but you chose to watch this one where I accidentally open up Discord. With that in mind, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Could have been watching anything else, but you watched this, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.